Did I do that whole intro muted? AB says lip reading in full effect. Hopefully you'll caught that. Hopefully you can all read lips. Shall I start from the top? We're live for a Gameweek 32 deadline. Thank you all for being here. Huge turnout already. Michael D says deaf subscribers going crazy. I'm so sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Please tell me you can hear me now. It's not a mic issue. Alright, you can hear me now. Right, so what else was I saying? Oh yeah, so yeah, we tried something new today with the intro. So we had the live chat on the intro screen. So let me know what you thought of that and if that worked well or not. Something to look at, isn't it, while you wait for those 3 long minutes before the stream starts. Amar says I was checking on my cables. You know, I should have done that on April Fool's. I should have just muted myself or something, or mimed what I was going to say. But yeah, as always, anyway, thank you for being here. Crazy turnout. We've got 688 tuned in already. And as always, take a photo wherever you're watching from and tag me on Twitter and I'll retweet it. So how are we all doing anyway? The other thing I was saying was there was someone in chat who said it's 2:30 in the morning in Australia. So they were asking if it's possible to know what transfer plans I'm making. And yeah, I'm going to be going Tierney to Doherty. That's my plan. Which is an annoying one because Tierney has the double in 33 and obviously the double in 36. So I probably would have kept him for the season. But instead, Tierney's going to have to leave the team. So that's where I'm going to have to focus my transfers. So I'll make that transfer on this stream. Still haven't decided on captaincy. I've actually got it on Salah at the moment. I'm very, very tempted by Salah over Kane. What do you guys think? Who's everyone going for captaincy? We'll have a look at the captain poll results on this stream. If anyone's not voted yet on the Discord, make sure you do that and we'll have a look. Good morning, Giga Chad. Morning or afternoon or evening, Robert and Rudy. How we doing? Riley says hit the like button, guys. You heard him. You heard Riley. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream. Lark says Zaha punt over Leicester mid. Yeah, I like the Zaha punt. I actually tweeted about Zaha this week. Over the last, I think it's 6 game weeks, he's 5th among all midfielders for expected goal involvement. And all the teams that he has left to face are in the bottom half for expected goals conceded. Besides Aston Villa, who are about 8th. So, yeah, I think Zaha's an interesting one for the remainder of the season. Amar's going Kane captain, so Spider. Annie Lawrence is going Son captain, so is El Santo Rocco. Roman says, hello from Amsterdam. Hello, Roman. I'm going to be going to Amsterdam in a couple of months with my friends that I went to university with, so I'll see you there, mate. Loads to talk about in this stream, so let's jump into it. We'll do a very quick news roundup. Start off with Leicester. And the Leicester news is that Brendan Rodgers says that changes will be made for Sunday's game, with players returning from long-term injuries in particular set to have their minutes managed over this busy period. So hopefully this doesn't affect Maddison or Barnes, who many of us have picked up ahead of their double in 33. And obviously they have a reasonable fixture this week against Crystal Palace, but we'll have to see how those lineups pan out. So Man United news. Cristiano returns after illness. He obviously missed Man United's last game, but Ralph Rangnick says that they'll be without the services of Luke Shaw for the next 2 to 3 weeks. They're also missing Cavani, Varane and McTominay. Varane a big miss. Luke Shaw could be as well. Tellez could be an interesting one if you're planning to free hit in 33. It's obviously a double game week for Man United, and the first of the double was against Norwich, so maybe Tellez is one to consider. Some Arsenal news. Thomas Partey will be out for a few weeks, according to Arteta. Huge miss, Partey. I saw a stat earlier that with Partey, they win about 62% of games, but without him, about 33%. There has only been 6 games without Partey, so not a very big sample size. But yeah, he could be a huge miss, and I certainly wouldn't be looking up to double up with Arsenal defenders. In my case, I've got Tierney, and I'm looking to shift him on to Doherty, not considering another Arsenal defender. Mikhail says, are you worth considering, or Iheanacho? Are you? I would say no, not worth considering. Not much of an FPL asset. He was a couple of seasons back when he was like 5 mil, but no, I wouldn't go there. I think Mateta might be the one if you want a Palace forward. Mateta's been getting lots of starts recently, but he does come off early. Problem with Iheanacho is that you imagine Leicester will focus on Europa Conference League, because that's their last hope of European football next season. So I imagine that could mean Iheanacho is going to be starting all the games in the Europa Conference, and perhaps Daka gets some minutes in the Premier League. We'll have to see. Iheanacho did come off early last night, so perhaps Rodgers plans to play him in both, start him in both. Matt says, evening Oscar, evening mate, how you doing? Good to see you here. So a quick look at the Kings of the game week, and this is how it looked after Gameweek 31. It was actually Richarlison who joined the Kings. It was a double game week player after all. Richarlison, who would have thought? If anyone had DCL for that game against Burnley, I would have been fuming, because there was 2 penalties. Those were how Richarlison got his points, from 2 penalties. DCL didn't take them. So who joins the Kings this game week? That's the question. Hopefully Salah, if I stick with him for the captaincy. But it could be... Who do we think it could be? Kane? Son? Doherty could come up with another haul. We'll have to see. Josh says Barnes or Maddison. Good question, and it's a really, really difficult one to answer. But obviously they're in everyone's thinking at the moment because they have a reasonable fixture this week, and then they play the double in 33. There's honestly nothing to separate them. I prefer Barnes just slightly, but very, very hard to choose between them. I think they're both excellent picks. And Maddison does seem to have the haul potential. So we'll see. But I think I like Barnes more, just about. But this is the scout selection for Game Week 32, and I'll just read it out for any audio listeners. They've got Ramsdale in goal, and then the back 3 is Rudiger, Doherty and Shah. Midfield 5 is Salah, Son, Maddison, Saka, Bowen. Front 2, Kane captain and Mateta. What do we think? Seems like a decent team. Obviously Bowen is back from injury, scored and assisted on his return last game week. Obviously he's been a phenomenal asset this season, Bowen. Alex P says he went for Jay Rodriguez in the end and it paid off. Fair play. I never would have backed Rodriguez for that double game week. I would have gone Weghorst over Rodriguez all day, but as it happened, Weghorst massively disappointing. Rodriguez was the correct player to go for in the end. Yeah, Weghorst's numbers are actually shocking recently. I think he's averaging less than a shot per game, but I don't have anyone else to play really. I could start Saiss over Weghorst, but I think I'll play Weghorst. Never give up FPL, I love the username. He says start Chalobah or Laporte. I think it'd have to be Chalobah. Chelsea, among the top, maybe first or second on the clean sheet odds. I think you have to back Chalobah over Laporte, who faces Liverpool. I don't see City keeping a clean sheet, honestly. I think it could be a high-scoring affair. Historically, it is a high-scoring game. On average, over the last 6 meetings, there's been 3.6 goals per game. So, yeah, it could be a high-scoring game. I don't think we'll see a clean sheet from City. Perhaps not from Liverpool either. So, I would go Chalobah all day there. Janega, how you doing, mate? He says, hey, fairly similar team to yours. I want to sell Tierney and Jimenez for Cancelo and a forward of Mateta and Pukki. Would you say bench boost 36 and free hit 37, or free hit 36, bench boost 37 is better? This forward transfer probably decides my chip strategy. I think bench boost 36 is the way to go. Sorry, Teddy's right down there. What? I think bench boost 36 is the way to go. 36 is the biggest double game of the season. We'll have a look at the fixtures a bit later on the stream. So therefore, I think 37 is the better week to free hit, in my opinion. It is team dependent, and obviously it depends how the rest of your team shapes up. But I think bench boost 36 and free hit 37 is the way to go. And there's some teams that double in 37 that you might want to hop onto, but you don't want for the other game weeks. For example, Aston Villa have a decent double game week, Crystal Palace do, so you could hop onto some players like Coutinho. So I think it makes sense to do it in that order. Alright, here he is. This is where the cables gets unlocked and everything goes wrong, as usual when Teddy's on the stream. Bobby says, what's your transfers today? I'm going to be going Tierney to Doherty. That's my plan. Royhan says, evening mate, can sell it for Robbo or roll it for next week? I currently have Trent as well. I don't think I would go Robbo to Cancelo personally. I think Like I was saying earlier, I don't think either side keep a clean sheet. I think it could be a high-scoring game, but Teddy. No, I don't think. I think it's too sideways. If you're going to make that move, it makes sense to do it in 33, but not now. You know, either side are high on the clean sheet odds, so therefore, I don't think I'll be looking to go Robertson to Cancelo personally. Mikey says, "Hope Teddy's all right." Yeah, he's good. I took him out today for a nice stroll. Went for a lunch with him after. He had some of my fish and chips. He's living the dream today. The Roxby says, "Is the FPL website down?" Let's have a look. No, it's fine for me. Shane says, "Play Pope or Ramsdale." Pope or Ramsdale. Difficult one, that. Obviously, Arsenal now missing Tierney and Partey. So the clean sheet odds perhaps don't have that factored in. Really difficult one. I think I would go Arsenal just about. You know, Brighton in horrible form. Over the last 5 games, they've picked up a single point, which is the joint worst in the league with Norwich. So I think I would go for Ramsdale for that reason. So let's have a look at the most transferred players heading into this game week. I'll just refresh in case it's changed at all. Yeah, it's Bowen. He's gone top now. 270,000 have picked up Bowen heading into this game week. Surprised to see that, actually, considering he doesn't have the double in 33, while Maddison does. But Maddison's second. 266,000 have picked him up. Doherty's third. I'll be one of those bringing him in this week. Tony's up there. Son and Kane, no surprises to see lots of the Tottenham guys. Mateta's an interesting one. Scored last week. I think he's got 3 goals in his last 5 games, which is very decent for a forward for a, 5.3 mil? And the most transferred out, Tierney is top, no surprise with his season-ending injury. Looks like he won't play any more minutes this season based on what we've been told. Coutinho's second. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. I think the mic came out. All over the place with the technical issues today. Has the sound stopped as well now? I can't hear anything. Oh, there we go. Right, we're back. Henry says Weghorst or Pookie. I think either. Neither, sorry. I don't think either of those are good picks, but if I had to pick one, it'd be Pookie, definitely. We're back with the sound though, right? Let me know. Hopefully we're back. Anyway, on to the clean sheet odds, which we were talking about, which are as follows. So Arsenal top at the moment with a 45% chance, but these were from before we had the news of the Partey injury. I think he will be a big miss. Lokonga's a decent player, still very, very young. I imagine it'll be him who comes in. Perhaps Nuno Tavares and left back. I don't think they can afford to play Xhaka in left back, which is where he has played before. I think actually Xhaka played left back last game when Tavares was withdrawn early. And likewise, there's no way Saka plays there in my opinion. But Chelsea is second, 37.5% chance. Actually joint with Man United and Newcastle. Rock bottom, Brighton, 17% chance for that away trip to the Emirates. Everton, 19% chance, joint with Liverpool. Both sides in Merseyside, playing both sides in Manchester this game week. Riley says, good morning from Singapore, Cornet or Weghorst? If I had to pick one, it'd be Cornet. Weghorst has been so disappointing recently. His underlying numbers have been shocking, and I'm only keeping hold of him because, you know, he's got the double in 33, and there's not many good alternatives, but, you know, if I could get him to Lacazette somehow, I'd be looking to do that instead. A reminder to vote on the captain poll if you haven't already. We'll have a look at the results shortly. Going to be interesting to see how everyone's voted this week. Zia says, is Wyatt fit? Yeah, he's fit and available. No plans, no problem there. Angas says, what are your plans? I'm going to be going Tierney to Doherty. And then I'm not decided what I want to do in 33 yet. I may go something like Jimenez to a cheap forward like Gelhardt and then Gordon to Maddison. But I may actually just roll the transfer and then bring Cancelo in 34 instead. Conrad, thanks for the donation. He says, should I sell Saka and Tierney for Bowen and Maddison and Shah for a -4 or do nothing? No, I wouldn't be looking to sell Saka, definitely not. I can understand the temptation to be getting Maddison and Shah because they double in 33 as well, but I wouldn't be looking to sell Saka. He's absolutely crucial in that Arsenal team. So no, I think Saka's a season keeper in my opinion. Wouldn't be looking to sell him. I can understand the Shah move though. It's an interesting one. He's only 4.3 mil. Has quite a few attacking returns this season. More than you'd expect for a player of his price. So yeah, I can understand the temptation with Shah. I'd be tempted to just do that rather than all of those moves in combination. Harry says, do I go Mahrez to Saka and Broja to Mateta for a -4? No, I don't think so. Broja doubles in 33, so again, you're selling a player who doubles for a player who has a single. I understand you're selling Mahrez, but I don't think I'd do a -4. You could just do Mahrez to Saka. I would probably just do that move on its own. I don't think you need to do a -4 to get rid of Broja, unless you literally have 10 men, but I imagine that's not the case, and there's someone you can play instead rather than take the -4. True Fat and Dead, how we doing, mate? He says, Broja to Cucho or Mateta, free hit in 33, bench boost in 36. I assume you've used your wild card. The problem is, right, Cucho, he has a good fixture against Leeds this week, so he might just edge it, but it's really hard to say if he's nailed or, you know, if Dennis comes back into the team. So I think Mateta between the two. You're free hitting a 33, bench boosting a 36. Good chip strategy, I like that. But I think it'll have to be Mateta. Chris says, Tierney for James or Doherty. James all day. If you can afford James, I think he's the standout Tierney replacement. T-Shell's comments led me to believe that James is certain to start as well. Did I miss your message, Violet? Apologies. Let me scroll up, see if I can find it. Where was it? Ask it again, Violet. I missed it. Sorry. Joe says, captain Son or Salah. So there's not much to separate the two on predicted points this week, but let's have a look at how the predicted points look. And if you want to go purely on the predicted points, which are from FPL Review, Son is above Salah on 4.7. Kane is top with 5.3. Rafinha's third with 5.1. Lacazette's there. Ronaldo. Salah on 4.7. Saka on 4.7 as well. Bruno's up there. Bruno's an interesting one because obviously Man United double in 33, and it's not a bad fixture this week either against Everton. Is anyone going to be getting Bruno? Anyone selling Salah for Bruno? I'm very, very tempted, but I think I'm going to skip Bruno. But if you're on a free hit in 33, then I say Bruno is an absolute no-brainer. Deepesh says Gordon or Saiss. I think Saiss. HX says we have 2 free hits, right? Yeah, we have 2. If you haven't used one yet, then you'll still have 2. One thing to note is you can't use your free hits in succession. I'm trying to find your message, Violet. Still can't see it. But ask it again and I'll try and spot it. Tatenda says, I need a chip defender and I'm considering either Fofana or Chalobah. Who do you think is a bigger rotation risk? I think they're honestly about even in terms of rotation risk. Leicester are going to be focused on the Europa Conference League because they have a chance to get Europa League football next season. So for that reason, I would avoid Fofana. But Chalobah also, I would say, is a rotation risk. So I'd be tempted by a Newcastle defender. Someone like Shah, 4.3 mil. He's got some attacking returns recently. And his next 3 games are all at home, including the double game week. Violet says, if I roll this week and then free hit in 33, do I keep my second transfer in 34? If not, Veghorst to Mateta. No, you don't. If you use your free hit, you'll lose a rolled transfer. So if you can, I would look to make a move this week. Mateta, I'm not sure if Mateta's the best Veghorst replacement though for this week. I'm struggling to think of any better alternatives because there really aren't many among the forwards at the moment. But yeah, to answer your question, you will lose a roll transfer if you free hit, so I would definitely make a move this week. Appreciate everyone that has tuned in so far. If you have enjoyed the stream so far, do hit like on it. Let's try and get it to 500 likes before the deadline if we can. Fagin says, Tierney out for Gabriel or James? I think James all day. Yeah, James is the standout Tierney replacement. If you haven't got James, he would be who I'm looking at. Soham says, Burn or Adams? I think you have to favour the forward there. Arsenal without Tierney and Partey, so I think I would be starting Adams all day there if it was me. Still can't decide if I want to go Salah or Kane captain, I'll be honest. What do you guys think? Is Salah a stretch too far? I know he's a bit out of form, but it's very, very tempting. He's got a decent record against City, and historically it's a very high scoring game when Man City and Liverpool face one another, so I am tempted by Salah. If not, it'd have to be Kane. It's between those two. Stephen says 2 free hits and a bench boost, when to use, no wildcard left. So if I had 2 free hits and a bench boost, I would free hit in 33, I would bench boost in 36, and I would free hit in 37. I think those are the most logical times to use them. Basically attack the double game weeks in a nutshell. And 36 is the biggest double game week of the season, so it's easier to get a decent bench for that week. But you can always have a look at how your bench is shaping up for both weeks when you get nearer the time, and then work out which bench looks better in a nutshell. But yeah, free hit 33 and then decide as you approach 36 and 37 which way round you want to do it. Thank you, Chris, for renewing the membership as well. If anyone's interested in becoming an FPLfocal member, you get early access to videos, and there's a private channel on the Discord where I give team feedback throughout the game weeks, throughout the month, unlimited team feedback. And he says Martinelli to Ramsey or Roll. If anything, I'd want to go the opposite way. If I had Ramsey, I'd be looking at Martinelli, but no, I don't know why I'd want to go for Ramsey. Because they play Spurs and then they blank in 33. Did you mean the other way around, Chris? Certainly wouldn't be looking to sell Martinelli. You know, he's got double game week in 33 as well. Michael says, send Maximan in for Weghorst or bench Weghorst and play Robertson. So Maximan, he's a tricky one. I was looking at him as a potential Jimenez replacement, but he's such an unpredictable play. You don't know what you're going to get from him. And recently he's not done anything. So, I don't hate it, to be honest with you, because Weghorst's numbers are so bad that I don't hate it. If your other option is to play Robertson instead, I would be very tempted to just keep hold of Weghorst and just give him the next 2, and then you can bin him off for whoever you want in 34. So I think I'll start Robertson for that reason. Yeah, I'm just not convinced by St. Maximin. I did look at him, but not convinced. I also looked at Iheanacho and Wood, who are all similar price ranges, but not really convinced by any of them, to be honest with you. Beatty, how you doing, mate? He says, if I had to pick 2 to start out of these players, who would you pick? Davies, Robertson and Martinelli. Martinelli I would start. So it's between Davies and Robertson. I'd probably start Davies and bench Robertson. That's probably what I would do. Shout out to Karim as well. Thank you so much, Karim, for becoming an FPLfocal member. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you for all the support. TC says Tierney and King to Doherty and Iheanacho, or Robbo and Ramsey to James and Barnes. Tierney and King to Doherty and Iheanacho, or Robbo and Ramsey to James and Barnes. What do you guys reckon? I like the Doherty move, Iheanacho less so. I'm just not sure if we can trust Iheanacho to start the next 3. And realistically, that's what you want. Anything less than that is just not good enough really over the next 2 game weeks. So I'm not sure about the Iheanacho move. I would probably, if possible, in fact you can definitely afford to keep King because Doherty's cheaper than Tierney, so I'd go Tierney to Doherty. I probably wouldn't do the Iheanacho move. If it looks like Iheanacho's nailed, then you can always make that move next week or in Gameweek 33 instead. The other option was Robbo and Ramsey to James and Barnes. I'm not convinced by that one either. I think Robbo's a season keeper. It's just one bad game week and then you're basically good for the rest of the season with Robertson. So I don't think I'd make that move. I think I would just do the Doherty move personally. Alex, how we doing? He says Tierney to Gabriel, Coutinho to Maddison, or Barnes, or De Bruyne to Son for a -4. No, I probably wouldn't sell De Bruyne for Son for a -4. Tierney to Gabriel. I'm not convinced by the Arsenal defenders now after the Tierney injury and Partey out. So I would do Coutinho to Maddison or Barnes. But it's really hard to predict who starts between Barnes and Maddison, or if both do, or if one gets benched, because I do think there will be some rotation. In fact, Roger said there will be. He was mainly alluding to some of the players that are recently back from injury, but I think one of Barnes and Maddison could get rotated, so I would do that move. It's just very hard to predict which one. My preference is Barnes, but there's honestly nothing to separate them, so I'd flip a coin. Did I miss your message, Rohan? Where was it? Let me scroll up. Rohan says, Salah is Salah, but Kane likely a better option this game week. Yeah, exactly. So I'm really on the fence between Salah and Kane. I do think Salah, in fact, he's a big game player. You know, I really do think he'll get something out of this game, but I don't know. Kane's going to be the massive captaincy favourite, so I don't know. Should I let fear rule my decisions? It was a mistake last game week to let fear rule my decisions, so I don't know if I want to make the same mistake again. Janega says, really good James, Vegas and Tarkovsky. Start 2. I would start Rudiger and James. I would double up with Chelsea defence. That's where I would go. Anurad says, who do I bring in? Zaha or Maddison for Martinelli? Why is everyone selling Martinelli? I think I'd keep Martinelli if I had him. I don't think I'd sell him. Honestly, I think I'd keep him. I think, was he benched last game? I still think I'd probably keep Martinelli personally. I think I'd give him the next 2. Or if he gets benched again this week, then you could look to sell him for Maddison or Barnes. That's what I would do personally. Zenny says KDB or Son for captaincy. Son's a lot higher on the predicted points, so I would say Son for that reason. Both decent picks though. But I think it'd have to be Son if I had to pick between the 2. This is an interesting stat. So this is the points over the last 6 game weeks. I'm blocking some of this off, sorry. Over the last 6 game weeks, Kane is top with 70 points. Followed by Son, who's got 60. Doherty's on 56. Cash 52. And Kulusevski 50. So basically the Spurs players are completely dominant over the last 6 game weeks. 4 of the top 5 in terms of FPL points are the Spurs players. So yeah, it looks like the Spurs players have really found some momentum. And yeah, I do regret selling Son now, I have to say. We'll have a look at the captaincy poll results next. I'll chuck a link in chat if anyone's not on our Discord. That's where you can join the Discord. Genuinely good FPL resource, the old Discord. We've got things like the price changes, we've got the lineups, we've got the live scores, we've got the live points, we've got bonus points, we've got Gameweek stats, we've got injury updates, top 10k stats, insider trading, the news, deadline alerts, and loads more. And then you can pick the alerts that you want to receive each week. For example, if you wanted to receive the price change alerts on your phone, then you can do that. But let's have a look at the captain poll for this game week. And Kane is top, 311 votes for Kane, followed by Son with 133. Salah's third on 44. 20 votes for other. If anyone went other, let me know who you got the armband on. 14 for Saka, 11 for Bruno, 7 for De Bruyne and James. Interesting. So it's more or less as we suspected. Kane top. I might have to chuck the armband back on Kane, I'll be honest. What do you guys think? Or shall I flip the old coin for it again? So he says, great Discord server, by the way. Or 2BH. There you go. Another reason to join. Yeah, I'll be on there throughout the game week. I'll be on there tonight for tonight's game. Looking forward to this game week. Hopefully bounce back with a green arrow, because it was an absolutely horrendous game week 31. I still can't make my mind up though. Salah or Kane captain? What do I do? FPL1 says I missed the super chat. Apologies. Where did we get to? Bruno to Salah for the next 2 game weeks, plus captain Bruno for both. What are you asking? Are you going to own both Bruno and Salah, or are you looking to sell Salah for Bruno? I think Bruno and Salah, if you can own both for the next 2, you're laughing. For most people, it's a decision between one or the other. Captain Bruno for both. I'm not sure about Bruno for captaincy this week. Maybe not this week, but definitely for 33. I think I would prefer Salah for captain this week over Bruno. Zany says KDB or Son for captaincy. Did I read that one earlier? That we had the same question. I would go Son between the two. Son's a more predicted points, so I'd go Son personally. Callum says start one out of Weghorst, Mateta, Robbo or Cancelo. Oh, a really difficult one that. It's a good fixture for Burnley, but Weghorst has been so disappointing that I'd probably start one of Robbo or Cancelo. I'd be tempted by Mateta actually. I think I'd go Mateta. Just because he's playing Leicester, and I imagine Leicester are going to rotate a lot. They've been so poor this season defensively, Leicester. Huge drop-off to their numbers last season, so I think I'd actually go Mateta. And I'd probably have Robbo first on bench, Cancelo second, Weghorst last. Hopefully I'm caught up on the messages. I think so. Keep the questions coming. We've got just under half an hour till the deadline. Ken says, should I start Shah? Depends who in place of, but yeah, I think he's fine to start this week. Jay says, what are your transfers? I'm going to do Tierney to Doherty. One move. Yeah, really annoying that Tierney injury because he looked good for the next 2. But yeah, instead I'm going to have to focus my moves on him. So Tierney's going to leave the team. Doherty's coming in. Just need to decide Salah or Kane for captaincy. Junaid says, should I get Son and Amati for Kulusevski and Trent? No, I don't think so. Amati is not a good pick. I don't think he gets many minutes for the rest of the season now that they've got so many centre-backs coming back. He might start this one, but that's just purely because they've got some rotation around the Europa Conference League. But no, I wouldn't go to Amati, and I would be selling Trent. By the time we get to Gameweek 33, you'll just wish you had Trent again. Amigdara still has the bench boost, free hit and wildcard. I mean, you're in a very strong position there. I would probably free hit in 33 or 37. I'd wildcard in 34, bench boost 36. Yeah, if anyone's still got a wildcard and a bench boost, you're in a very strong position because you can use the wildcard after 33. If you don't free hit in 33, then you can just dead end your team. You know, you could do a move like Salah to Bruno for 1 week and then reverse back out of it. Oh, do I captain Salah or Kane? This is killing me. Can't decide. Might check the armband back on Kane. What do we think? Better hit save just in case the website goes down. Rashad says KDB or Foden. Right now, neither. But from 33, I think I like Foden more. Because you're going to want to have other premiums, really, like Kane or Son or Salah from 33. So, difficult to find room for KDB. But I like the Foden pick. Kind of playing false 9 in Pep's system. And Mo says Coutinho for Barnes from -4. I wouldn't do it for a -4. No, I would just start Barnes. Sorry, I'd just start Coutinho. I wouldn't take a -4 for that. I would just make that move in 33 instead. Major Tom says Cancelo out for James. No, I don't think so. You have to look longer term, right? Cancelo looks an excellent pick for the rest of the season. You know, I'm looking to bring him in, and you're looking to sell him. I think Man City's fixtures are just too good for the rest of the season, right? After the Liverpool game, they've got Brighton at home, Watford at home, Leeds away, Newcastle at home, West Ham away, Villa at home, and they've got this Wolves fixture to go somewhere. Could be a double game week of 36 or 37. So no, I definitely wouldn't be looking to sell Cancelo personally. I would just ride this one out, even though he may concede, may not keep a clean sheet, but I would definitely keep hold of Cancelo if I had him. I did want to actually talk about the double game weeks a bit more. So, following the announcement the other day, these are how the fixtures look in 36 and 37. So we got a confirmed double in 36 for, I think it's about 9 teams: Arsenal, Villa, Chelsea, Everton, Leeds, Leicester, Liverpool, Norwich, Spurs, Watford. And it's going to be really easy to have a full 11 of double game week players in 36. And we could potentially have a few more. Man City could double there, West Ham might, Wolves might. And then we've got another double immediately after for Burnley, Chelsea, Everton and Leicester. Chelsea's could actually end up moving to 34 or 35, depending on what happens in the Champions League and FA Cup. But there are some teams with back-to-back doubles. Everton are one of them. Leicester are one of them. Aston Villa potentially. And this is why I quite like the free hit in 37, because Aston Villa double in 37 potentially, as do Palace potentially. So you could free hit in some players like Coutinho, maybe someone like Cash, or I was going to say Digne, but not Digne. Some Palace players, perhaps maybe like Zaha. So I think there's definitely some appeal to saving the free hit for 37 as opposed to using it now. Karen, oh no message. Thanks for the donation, Karen. Appreciate that. What were we saying? Get the coin out to decide the captaincy. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it to myself again. Oh, I really want to captain Salah, but I'm worried about what Kane could do. John says Nacho, Mateta, White, Shah, Justin for a 1 week punt. For a 1 week punt, I would have to say Nacho. But there is a gamble that Daka starts. Iheanacho, from what I've been told, is going to be first choice, and he was withdrawn early last night. So perhaps an indication that Rodgers intends to start him this game week as well. So I think Nacho is the highest upside of all of them on a 1 week punt. Could go for someone like Pookie on a 1 week punt, or maybe Tony. I'd be more tempted by them. Who do you guys think's the best 1 week punt? AB says Rafinha, worth it. Not worth bringing in now. I don't think so. I think for many managers, this is Rafinha's last game week before he leaves a lot of teams for players that double in 33 and beyond. So no, I wouldn't be looking to bring in Rafinha. I think that ship has sailed. Elliot says Tierney to Roberts, no money in the bank. No money in the bank. Oh, okay. If you don't have Doherty, I think he's a standout Tierney replacement. Roberts, I can see the appeal. Slightly worrying that he was withdrawn early last game, because I wonder if Lowton gets a game here and there or not. But I do like the Roberts pick. Maybe you could go for Taylor over Roberts, because I believe Peters isn't back and available for selection for Burnley yet. So Taylor might actually be the one. Roberts not a bad shot either. I do see the appeal in the Burnley defenders. They have a good fixture this week against Norwich, and then they've got the double in 33. And we've seen them dig out results. We've seen them dig out results in double game weeks. So yeah, I can definitely understand the temptation with the Burnley defenders. Just not sure about Roberts, whether he starts the next 3. Maybe Taylor would be the one, but if you don't have Doherty, I think he's the best Tierney replacement. Michael says 1 week punt on Rodrigo. Interesting one, Rodrigo. Not a name I've heard in a long time, but yeah, I can understand the temptation there as well. William says start Martinelli or Trent. I think Martinelli, just about. Christian says bench Rafinha or DCL. DCL. RNR says play Trent or Cancelo. Trent. Carla says Reguilon starts. Got some very, very early news there from Carlos, if that's true. Right, what am I doing? Captain Kane or Captain Salah? Can't make my mind up. I've got 15 minutes. Should I flip a coin? Oh, can't decide. Might have to just play it safe with Kane. He is top for predicted points, to be fair. Karim says, hey Oscar, bench and headache. My current team, Pope, Cancelo, James, Trent, Robertson, Doherty, Salah, Havertz, Barnes, Saka, Kulu, Kane, Mateta and Cucho. Best start in 11. So in defence, it would be probably James, Trent, Doherty. Midfield, Salah, Havertz, Barnes, Saka, Kulu. 3-5-2, Kane, and it's between Mateta and Cucho. Probably Mateta. That's probably what I would do. Noctambuli says, coin. Oh, I don't know what I was thinking going into a deadline stream and not having decided my captain. But anyway, let's take a screenshot and then tweet it before it's too late. There we go. Bear with me. Right, game week 32. Rank. What's my rank? 1198. Oh, I haven't done my transfer yet. Let me do my transfer first. That would help. Doherty. Make transfers. Tierney to Doherty. Confirm transfer. Right, there we go. Screenshot of that. Tierney, Doherty, Kane captain. Anything else to mention? I think that's it. Done. Right, let me catch up on chat. Keep the questions coming. We got about 15 minutes till the deadline. Russell, thanks for the donation. He says, hi Focal, wildcarding in 34, dead ending in 33. Option 1 is Tierney to James and then Raf to Maddison in 33. Or option 2, Tierney to Shah and then Van Dijk to Fodder and Rafinha to Bruno. Game week 33 for -4. I don't think it's worth the -4. I think I would do option 1. Tierney to James and then you got the option to choose between Barnes or Maddison. You know, there's a couple of options in that price range. So I'd do option 1 personally. Yeah. I can see the appeal of option 2 though. It's just I don't like -4s for 1 week, you know. I hate taking -4s in game week 38. They've never gone right for me because basically got 1 week for it to be repaid or you've just missed out. So I think it has to be option 1 for that reason. Andrew says start Trent or Lacazette. Lacazette. Mateta or Tony? Tony. But I wouldn't be looking to bring either in. Maybe Mateta. But if it was who to start, Tony. Oh, Tierney's still in the team. Let me reload. There we go. Kevin says, hi Focal, start Saar or Dubravka and start one of Rudiger, White and Weghorst. I would start Rudiger and then I would start... I think I'd start Saar. I think Newcastle v Wolves is going to be a low scoring game. So, honestly, both are fine to start, but I think I'd go Saar. Just about. Bench 1 of Saka, Robertson, Cancelo or Kulusevski. I would bench... It has to be between Robbo and Cancelo. But it's just very, very hard to predict how that game's going to play out. I imagine both sides concede, but I'd probably start Robertson and bench Cancelo. Do I start Livramento or Trent? Trent all day. It has to be Trent. Livramento plays Chelsea. Kilman or Ramsey? I'd say Kilman. Saar or Dubravka? Saar. Play Ramsey or Saiss? Saiss. Chris asks, who to bench from Trent, Robertson, Martinelli and Mateta? How many do you have to bench? Just 1? Or 3? I think... Really tricky one, that, because it's hard to say if Martinelli comes back into the starting 11 or not. I think he does, so I would start him. Mateta, I'd be tempted to start him. But the problem is it comes down to a coin toss. I think you could bench one of Trent and Robertson to hedge your bets. So I think I'd bench Robertson. Dexter says, Ronaldo or Kane. Bench boost, chip left, budget defender option. Ronaldo or Kane. I think Kane. You know, can we trust Ronaldo to start all of the next 3? Perhaps not. So I think I would start. I think I'd get Kane for that reason. You know, Kane, he's in the best form in the league right now as well. I mean, look at his recent numbers. Incredible. He's blanked, what, once in his last 9 games or something? And he's in the most points in the league over the last 6 games. So, yeah, I think Kane all day. Let's have a look if we've got any last minute news or leaks or anything like that. Bear with me. Doesn't look like it. Keep the questions coming. We've got 10 minutes till the deadline. I keep knocking this cable. I need to find a way to glue it in or something. Do I start Sarr or Edison? I think it'd have to be Sarr. It's a lot to spend on a goalkeeper rotation, I have to say. But at this point, I guess you stick it out with Edison. Maybe an opportunity to downgrade Sarr, depending on where the Man City double falls. Gabriel or Matip? Gabriel. Start Van Dijk or Cody? Difficult one, that. Van Dijk or Cody? I think Cody. Clement says, James, Robbo, Trent, Rudy, Castagna. Bench 1. I think Robertson. I think I would start the Chelsea double up. I think the Chelsea double up looks good for this week. Castagna did play last night in Europa Conference League. Perhaps gets rotated this game week. Hard to say. He offers a lot going forward, so I don't think I'd bench him. So I think it'd have to be Robertson. James says Gordon or Ramsey. Gordon or Ramsey. And do I still have 2 free hits if both unused? Yes, you still have 2 free hits if you haven't used them yet this season. But you can't use them in back-to-back game weeks. So it's just something to bear in mind. You couldn't use one in 36 and then in 37. So you might want to consider using one in 33 and then the other in one of the other doubles later in the season. I like Gordon more over Ramsey, personally. So I think Gordon. Schwan, thanks for the donation as well. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you everyone that has tuned in so far. If you have enjoyed the stream, do hit like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Really, really appreciate everyone that has tuned in so far to this deadline stream. Barry says, where's the lamb sauce? Love it. Doolittle Search says Barnes to Foden. I definitely wouldn't be selling Barnes if I had him. Definitely not. Everyone's looking to bring him in, if anything. Him and Maddison. Mikel says, what United players, besides Bruno and Ronaldo, is worth looking at for a 1-week punt next week? Good question. The only other 2 names that come to mind is Sancho. I think he's a reasonable option. And Tellez. So we heard today that Shaw is out for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So if by Gameweek 33 it still looks likely that Shaw misses both of the double, I think Tellez is a very interesting one to punt on for 33. Zelda says, how comes I suggested Coutinho over Kilman earlier? I think you have to back the attacker there, so I think I'd go Coutinho. And Coutinho's higher on predicted points, so I'd back Coutinho. If I had both, I think I'd go Coutinho. Joanne says, start 3 of the following. Robbo, Cancelo, Shah, White, and Coutinho. I would start probably Shah, White. Difficult to pick between Robbo, Cancelo, and Coutinho. It's such a coin toss, this Man City v Liverpool game, I have to say. It's just impossible to say how it's going to play out. Historically, it's a high-scoring game. You know, and Robertson is the more attacking defender. So I think I would start Robertson and bench Cancelo and Coutinho. Amir says James, Robbo or Cancelo. I have Trent and Rudy. James all day. Yeah, I think James. I think you're perfectly fine to double up with James and Rudiger. Nothing wrong with that. I think James is an excellent pick this week. Audio cut him. Is my audio cutting out? Let me know in the chat if the audio is playing up. Hopefully not. It looks okay on the audio meter. If anything, it looks like I'm talking too loud. Maybe I need to shut up a bit. Rifan says, is selling Salah risky? Yeah, the obvious answer is yeah, absolutely. He's so highly owned that you do leave yourself exposed there. That if he hauls and he's very highly owned, then a lot of people gain ground on you. Unless whoever you replace him with can match Salah's points. Which is possible. You know, Bruno Fernandes could certainly do that. Could even outscore him, considering Bruno's got an extra fixture over the next two. He says, bench Rudiger, Cancelo or Doherty, or play 5 at the back and bench Kulusevski. I'd bench Cancelo, yeah, and I'd start Kulusevski. Start Rudiger, Doherty, Kulusevski, bench Cancelo. That's what I would do. Thomas says, where is the cat? On my lap. He's just off screen. You can't see him. Audio's fine. Okay, good. Rudiger to James for a -4, asked Joshua. No, definitely not. It's way too sideways. I know that James has got the whole potential, but it's just way too sideways for my liking. Even without a -4, it's pretty sideways, but for a -4, no, never. 5 minutes, says Johan. 5 minutes or the deadline. Make sure you got your transfers locked in, bench in the right order. Just reload to make sure mine's all good. Looks good. Joey says start Barnes, Rafinha, Trent, Robbo or Weghorst. You've only got to start one of these out of those 4. God, that's horrendous. Rafinha would be who I start. Yeah, Rafinha. He's the highest on the predicted points out of those 5. But if that's who you have to bench, I think you could leave some serious points on the bench this week. But yeah, I'd have to start Rafinha out of all of those. Mikey says, enjoy this game week, everyone. Yeah, you too, Mikey. Enjoy the game week. Looking forward to this one. 4 minutes, says Rocco. Son or Kane captain? There's not much to separate them this week in terms of predicted points. Kane's on 5.3, Son's on 5.2. I've got the armband on Kane. If I had Kane and Son, I think I'd still have it on Kane. Over the last 6 game weeks, Kane has got more points. This is the last 6 game weeks. Kane's on 70 points, Son's on 60. Doherty's up there as well. So I think I'd back Kane personally. But yeah, this is the problem right now, because some of us have only got one of Kane or Son. So you head into each game week and it's often down to whoever scores the highest. Comes out on top. And if you don't own the one that scores highest, then you take a huge red. That was my case in 31 as a Kane owner and a Son non-owner. Dom says, start Cancelo or Tony. Tony. AB says, what a weekend. UFC, City v Liverpool and F1. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to the F1 actually. I'm going to watch it. I did actually make a Formula 1 fantasy team, but I haven't made any changes. I did have Sainz, Leclerc and Ferrari as my constructors, so I actually was doing quite well last time I looked. Cedric says, love the content. Would you bench Laka or Rafinha? Oh, I wouldn't want to bench either, really. Is there no one else you can bench? I think I'd bench Laka just about, but I wouldn't want to bench either of them. Rabin says, Salah to Fernandes. So this one, I think it comes down to what kind of manager you are. The managers who like a risk might be tempted, but I'm personally not inclined to sell Salah for Fernandes at this point. It's very, very high risk, high reward. You might be able to consider it more in Gameweek 33, but yeah, I wouldn't do it now. Bobby says, can I have a shout out? Of course you can, Bobby. Shout out to Bobby Harrison tuning into this deadline stream. Appreciate you being here, Bobby. Simon says, do you love Max Verstappen? I love how your name is Simon Says, so when I read your username and then your message. Anyway, Simon says, do you love Max Verstappen? No, I don't. I'm not a big fan. I'm Team Hamilton. But, I mean, there's loads of races I like. I like Ricciardo. I like Leclerc. I like Bottas. But I'm not a massive fan of Max. Fuck Cares, thank you so much for becoming an FPLfocal member as well. I appreciate that. If anyone's interested in becoming a member, you get early access to my videos, and there's a private channel on the Discord where I give team feedback. Link in the description to that if anyone's interested. And that's it. I think we're there. That's the deadline. Thank you so much, everyone who actually tuned into this deadline stream. I'm not going to stick around for much longer. However, let's find someone to raid. I think we'll raid FPL Dennis. Let's do that. Let's grab his link. There he is. There he is. Alright, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the deadline stream. Do hit like on it if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not already. Everyone head over to FPL Dennis's stream. Say FPL Focal sent you. See you over there. Thank you so much, everyone. Focal out.